You are the CEO of your life. Read that again. You are in charge, not your past, not your situation, and certainly not those who have doubted you, mistreated you, or failed to value you. Yet many of us continue to focus on individuals who don't recognize our worth, remain in relationships that drain our energy, and worry about who disapproves of us or walked away. And then we wonder why we feel stuck or worn out. Often it's because our energy is being directed toward the wrong things. Here's the reality: your time, energy, and peace are not owed to anyone who hasn't earned them. If someone consistently leaves you feeling unappreciated, invisible, or emotionally drained, take that as a sign it's time to move on. Your energy is limited, and your peace should not be compromised. Once you stop prioritizing those who don't do the same for you, your life begins to change. Letting go isn't always simple. We often hold on out of guilt, shared history, or fear of being alone. But it's important to understand that not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Some are meant to teach you. Certain individuals appear in your life only briefly to show you something about who you are, about resilience, and about what you truly deserve. When you cling to those who were only meant to be part of your journey temporarily, you delay your own progress. Letting go isn't about losing. It's about making a choice to prioritize yourself, a choice to stop justifying your actions to those who are unwilling to understand you, a choice to stop looking for approval from people who haven't even found it within themselves, a choice to safeguard your energy, your time, and your future. When you finally let go of what weighs you down, you make room for what will lift you up, because ultimately, energy follows focus. When you focus on your goals, dreams, and personal development, you gain momentum. But if your focus stays on what you've lost, who hurt you, or who failed to support you, you're handing control of your life to someone else. And ask yourself, why would you do that? Why let someone who doesn't acknowledge your worth influence your view of yourself? Time is not something you can reclaim. Every moment spent worrying about others' opinions, every hour lost trying to change someone who resists growth, is time taken from your own progress. That is energy better spent on building your future, nurturing your peace, and living with purpose. The difficult truth is this: the people who drain you, who make you feel less than, are not losing sleep over you. They aren't holding on to the past like you are. So why continue to carry a burden that was never yours to bear? You deserve more. You deserve to be surrounded by those who encourage you, who help you grow, who recognize your potential and remind you of it. But you won't meet those people if you continue holding on to the wrong ones. The longer you cling to what's holding you back, the more you delay your own progress. The more you focus on others, the more you neglect yourself. So today, make a decision. Choose to distance yourself from people and patterns that no longer contribute to your well-being. Choose to stop proving your value to those who are unwilling to acknowledge it. Then shift your attention to yourself. Commit fully to your personal growth. Make your goals a priority. Safeguard your peace. Invest so much in becoming the person you are capable of being that you no longer look back. Because the most effective response, the most powerful step forward, is success. It's becoming so focused, so strong, so undeniably capable, that those who once underestimated you are left with no choice but to take notice. But you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself, because you owe it to yourself to reach your full potential. So stop hesitating, stop doubting, let them go, focus on your own growth, and you'll begin to see your life shift. Your peace holds immeasurable value. Let that resonate. No form of love, approval, or validation is worth trading your inner peace. Yet many continue trying to maintain relationships that offer little in return, staying connected to people who deplete their energy, and remaining in situations that diminish their self-worth. And often, they convince themselves that this is just how life works. But that isn't the truth. Life is not meant to be spent in constant fatigue, continually trying to prove yourself to those who refuse to recognize your worth. Nor is it meant to be spent tiptoeing around others' feelings while your own are ignored. If a relationship, situation, or mindset is costing you your peace, then it's costing too much. No level of history, loyalty, or effort should keep you tied to something that erodes your joy and leaves you feeling empty. Start protecting your peace as if your well-being depends on it. Because it does. Constant exposure to negativity, draining people, or unnecessary conflict affects your mental, emotional, and even physical health. And when you're drained, it becomes difficult to focus, to think clearly, or to operate at your best. You feel stuck, you feel uncertain, and eventually, you might start believing that this is simply the way life will always be. But here's the truth. You have a choice. You decide who and what has access to your life. You are in control of your boundaries. You have every right to say no to anything that disturbs your peace. And you owe no explanation for choosing what's best for you. You don't need to explain your decision to walk away from a situation that no longer supports your well-being. You are not obligated to keep others comfortable if it comes at the cost of your own peace. Letting go can be difficult, especially when you've invested time, energy, and effort into a relationship, a friendship, or a job. It's easy to think, but I've already given so much. You keep hoping things will improve. You keep giving others the benefit of the doubt. And in the process, you slowly lose sight of yourself. But consider this. What is your peace worth? How much longer are you willing to exchange your happiness for the hope that one day things might improve on their own? How much more time are you prepared to let someone else influence your emotions, drain your energy, or shape your daily life? Waiting is costly. Each day spent in a negative space is a day that's gone. Every moment given to someone who doesn't value you is a moment you could have spent building a life that genuinely fulfills you. The only way to regain control is to choose right now that your peace matters more than trying to satisfy others, that your well-being matters more than keeping ties that leave you depleted, that you are no longer willing to compromise your mental and emotional health for people who were never meant to stay. Once you make that decision, things begin to shift. You set boundaries without guilt. You stop explaining yourself to those who refuse to understand you. You stop pursuing people who wouldn't make the smallest effort for you. And you redirect your focus to what truly matters: your personal growth, your goals, and your happiness. One thing to keep in mind when you begin protecting your peace: not everyone will support it. Some will call you distant, some will say you've changed. And they're right. You are supposed to change. You are meant to grow, to develop, and to move forward. The people who care will accept that. Those who don't were only ever meant to be temporary. Let them go. Because when you choose calm over conflict, clarity over confusion, you create space to feel lighter, more energized, and more engaged with life. You begin to wake up looking forward to your day, instead of feeling drained before it begins. And you'll come to see that the people and situations you clung to were often the very things holding you back. So stop waiting for the ideal time. Stop making excuses. The right moment is now. Let go of what no longer supports you. Prioritize your peace. And notice how everything around you begins to transform. Not everyone is meant to stay. Read that again. Some individuals are only present in your life for a season. Some were never meant to journey with you indefinitely. But many of us continue to hold on, driven by fear, by habit, or by the lingering hope that something might change. And while you're holding on, while you're chasing after people who don't recognize your worth, you're missing the chance to grow, to move forward, and to begin a new chapter in your life. Here's something important to understand. Growth requires letting. It means accepting that not every connection is meant to last. Not everyone you meet is meant to stay. And not everyone who started with you is meant to continue with you. And that's okay. The challenge is that many people struggle to accept. They try to keep relationships that no longer work. They stay in friendships that leave them drained, in love that no longer adds value, and in situations that don't reflect who they are becoming. Then they wonder why they feel stuck or worn. Often it's because they're holding on to people who were never meant to continue the journey. They're carrying weight that slows them down, trying to bring along those who don't want to grow, who resist change, and who are unwilling to evolve. And the longer you hold on, the more you limit your own progress. There are people in your life who were meant to teach you something, not to stay permanently. Some are there to help you recognize what needs healing. Some show you what you want to avoid. Others remind you why boundaries matter. But that doesn't mean they're meant to stay long term. It doesn't mean you should keep them around because of guilt, fear, or the comfort of the past. And here's something many overlook. Letting go isn't only about others. Sometimes it's about letting go of old versions of yourself. The version that accepted less than you deserved. that stayed in situations just to avoid loneliness, or that feared what might come next. If you want to grow, if you want to reach your potential, you have to release what no longer fits where you're going. It's not easy. Letting go rarely is, because it also means accepting that not everyone will support your growth. Some will label you selfish. Others will say you've changed, and they're not wrong. You have. You're meant to change. You're not meant to stay in relationships that no longer feel right, or in situations that no longer bring you fulfillment. You're not meant to hold on to friendships that no longer help you move forward. If someone can't grow with you, if they can't support your progress, then they're not meant to continue with you. Here's the truth. When you begin to let go, when you start focusing on your goals and stop chasing people, something shifts. You begin to move forward. And as you do, the people who are right for you will find their way into your life. The people who truly belong in your life will grow alongside you. Those who genuinely care will support your progress, not resist it. And those who were only meant to be in your life for a short time will eventually move on, making it clear they were never meant to stay. So stop forcing connections that no longer serve you. Stop holding on to people who diminish your sense of self. Stop trying to stay in environments that no longer reflect where you're headed. Let go. And when you do, when you finally release what's been weighing you down, you'll feel lighter. You'll feel a sense of freedom. You'll finally have the space, energy, and clarity to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your well-being, and your future. Not everyone is meant to stay, and that's okay. Let them go. Focus on yourself and you'll begin to see real change. Energy flows where focus goes. What you focus on grows. What you give attention to becomes stronger. Yet too often, people spend their energy on distractions, on situations and individuals that add no real value. They focus on conflict, on negativity, on opinions from people who wouldn't notice if they were gone tomorrow. They replay old mistakes, worry about others' opinions, and hold on to relationships that only drain them. And then they ask why they feel stuck, why progress feels out of reach. The answer is simple. You control where your energy goes. You choose what receives your attention. And if you continue directing that energy toward people who don't respect you, situations that frustrate you, or problems that aren't worth your time, you are limiting your own growth. Every time you allow distractions to take over, you take time and energy away from your future. Think about how often do you worry about things you can't control? How much time is spent scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to carefully curated images? How much energy goes into one-sided relationships? If you measured the hours spent on things that don't support your growth, you'd realize how much of your life has been used up without return. Now imagine shifting that focus. Imagine what could happen if, instead of focusing on what's lacking, you focused on what's already within reach. Instead of giving your energy to people who don't invest in you, you invested in yourself. Instead of asking why someone doesn't value you, you directed that energy into becoming someone you're proud of. Everything would start to change. Because here's the truth. Your future depends on what you choose today. Your success, your peace, your happiness, they are shaped by the decisions you make right now. If you focus on your goals, invest in your personal growth, and protect your energy, you become impossible to hold back. If you continue letting your attention be pulled in every direction, chasing people who don't care, giving energy to negativity, you'll remain exactly where you are. And the truth is, staying stuck is often a choice. Maybe not always a conscious one, but each time you focus on the wrong things, allow distractions to waste your time, or invest in people who don't invest in you, you're choosing not to move forward. That may sound direct, but it's important to hear, because many people convince themselves that life just happens to them, that they have no control, but you do. You have a choice, every single day, to take your energy back. You can choose to start your day with gratitude rather than lack. You can choose to work on your goals instead of scrolling through comparison. You can choose to let go of those who bring you down, and surround yourself with people who support your growth. It's all about choices, and once you begin making the right ones, you'll feel the difference. When you stop focusing on what drains you, you create space for what helps you grow. You gain clarity, you feel more at ease, you stop wasting energy on distractions, and start using it to build the life you want. That's when things begin to shift. That's when the right people show up. That's when new opportunities appear. That's when your confidence grows, because you're no longer giving yourself away to what doesn't deserve your attention. So ask yourself, where is your focus right now? Are you directing your energy toward growth, progress, and well-being? Or are you spending it on things that don't matter? The answer will explain why your life feels the way it does. And if you don't like the answer, you can change it. Take back control of your focus. Guard your energy. Choose yourself. That's how transformation begins. You don't owe anyone an explanation for doing what's right for you. Read that again. You don't have to justify your decisions to those who don't understand your path. You don't need approval for your growth. You don't need to apologize for setting boundaries, for protecting your peace, or for walking away from what no longer serves you. The moment you choose to prioritize your well-being, others may have opinions. Some may question your choices. Some may even be upset, and that's okay. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Too many people stay in situations that no longer serve them, just to avoid upsetting others. They hold on to friendships that no longer feel right because they fear being judged. But your peace, your progress, and your purpose should not be compromised to maintain someone else's comfort. Many continue explaining their choices to people who were never meant to understand them, and in doing so they lose themselves. They give up their happiness just to keep peace with people who wouldn't do the same in return. But let's be clear, your life is your own. Your happiness, your future, these belong to you. If you spend your time worrying about others' opinions, if you keep shrinking yourself to make others feel more comfortable, you may one day wake up and realize you've built a life that doesn't feel like it's yours. You'll look in the mirror and wonder when you stopped living for yourself, when you began letting others' expectations shape your every decision. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing happiness. You don't need to justify walking away from toxic relationships. You're not required to explain why you're ending ties with people who no longer share your values. You don't need approval to create boundaries, and you don't need permission to pursue your goals. The only person who needs to understand your choices is you. And here's the truth. The people who truly care about you will support your growth. They will stand by your decisions, even if they don't fully understand them. They will respect that your peace matters, that your happiness matters, and that your journey is yours to follow. But those who resist your growth, the ones who guilt you, question your choices, or make you feel selfish for putting yourself first, are often the ones who benefited from your lack of boundaries. They were comfortable when you prioritized them, even at your own expense. That's why choosing yourself can be difficult. It reveals who is truly with you and who is only around for what they gain. It may mean letting go of relationships you never expected to lose. It may require standing by your decisions, even when others don't agree. But that's part of growth. It's not always easy. It can be uncomfortable, uncertain, and sometimes isolating. But it's necessary. You can't keep explaining your progress to those who refuse to grow. You can't keep defending your boundaries to those who never honored them. And you can't continue apologizing for doing what's right for you. Because at the end of the day, you are the one who lives with the results of your choices. You are the one who wakes up every day and faces the life you've built. And if your decisions are always based on what others expect, you will never feel free. So stop explaining, stop defending, stop repeating yourself to people who never respected your boundaries to begin with. Just live. Do what brings you peace. Walk away when something no longer feels right. Trust that the right people will understand and that the wrong ones will step away. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. The moment you fully understand that your time and energy are limited resources, everything begins to change. Too many people give their attention to things that bring no real value, relationships that drain them, situations filled with stress, and obligations driven by guilt rather than purpose. Then they wonder why they feel stuck or overwhelmed. The truth is, you cannot continue giving to what doesn't give back. Your energy is finite. Treat it with intention. Each day, you start with a certain amount of energy. Think of it like a budget. If you begin your day with $100 worth of energy, you have to decide where it goes. Are you investing in habits that support your growth, your goals, your well-being? Or are you spending it on distractions, social media comparisons, unnecessary drama, or people who never return what you give? Many people feel burnt out not because they're doing too much, but because they're giving too much to the wrong things. The good news is, you have control. You decide where your energy goes. You don't have to answer every message, attend every event, or engage in every conflict. You're not required to keep explaining yourself to those who don't listen or understand. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It's responsible. You are allowed to protect your peace and redirect your focus toward what genuinely matters to you. Ask yourself, where is your energy going each day? Do the people and situations in your life lift you up or weigh you down? Do they encourage your growth or drain your motivation? If something or someone constantly leaves you feeling exhausted, anxious, or undervalued, that's a signal to step back, reassess, and protect what fuels your life. It's not always easy, but it's necessary, especially if you've spent your life being the one who always gives. Choosing to put yourself first might feel unfamiliar, but it's essential, because at the end of the day, if you don't take ownership of your time and energy, someone else will, and they won't stop. Your well-being depends on your ability to say no, to refocus, and to choose what moves you forward. Make that choice for yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you keep giving everything away, if you constantly allow yourself to be drained, there won't be anything left for you. And if you're running on empty, how can you grow into the person you're meant to be? You don't need to feel guilty for protecting your energy. You don't owe anyone an apology for setting healthy boundaries or prioritizing your well-being. The people who genuinely care will respect that. The ones who don't, those who react negatively when you say no, are often the ones who benefit from your lack of boundary. When you begin protecting your energy, your life starts to shift. You feel lighter. You feel more grounded and in control. You gain the time and mental space to focus on what truly matters. And most importantly, you begin to attract people who respect and uplift you. The moment you stop giving your energy to the wrong things, you create room for the right things. You stop feeling drained and you begin to feel valued. So stop giving away your time to things that offer no return. Stop allowing your energy to be depleted by people or situations that do not contribute to your growth. Protect your energy. It matters. Guard it like it's essential, because it is. Your happiness, your peace of mind, and your future depend on where your energy goes. Choose wisely, and you'll notice everything around you begin to change. One of the most powerful things you can do is learn to walk away. Walk away from what no longer supports your well-being. Walk away from people who drain you, from environments that cause stress and hold you back. Many stay stuck in situations they've outgrown, not because they're happy but because they fear change. They fear being alone or not knowing what comes next. But staying in the wrong place out of fear only leads to more frustration and emotional exhaustion. The truth is, growth requires letting go. You can't move into your next chapter while clinging to the last one. You can't become who you're meant to be while staying connected to what's holding you back. Until you accept that, you'll remain stuck. Yes, walking away is hard. It's uncomfortable, but it's also necessary. Growth may not always feel easy, but staying in the wrong place is far more damaging in the long run. Letting go requires courage. It forces you to step into the unknown and trust yourself in ways you may not have before. But once you do it, once you release what's been holding you back, you'll realize how much weight you were carrying. You'll feel lighter, freer, and more in control of your life. Take a moment to reflect. How much energy do you spend holding on to what no longer serves you? How much time do you waste trying to fix people who don't want to change, or trying to improve situations that will never improve? Now imagine what would happen if you redirected all that time and energy into yourself. Imagine focusing on your own growth, instead of clinging to what's holding you back. What if instead of staying in something that drains you, you walked away and created space for something better? Because the truth is, something better does exist. There are people who will value and support you as you are. There are opportunities out there that align with your purpose, your goals, and your peace. Beyond your fear is where real change happens. There is peace, joy, and fulfillment waiting, but you can't experience any of it if you continue holding on to what's meant to be left behind. Yes, some people may have opinions when you walk away. They might try to guilt you or say you gave up too easily, but their opinions are not your responsibility. Your life isn't meant to revolve around others' comfort. You are here to grow and evolve, and that sometimes requires walking away from what no longer fits. You are not obligated to stay in situations that leave you drained or unhappy. You do not need to justify your boundaries. You owe no one an explanation for choosing your well-being. What you owe yourself is the strength to let go when something no longer feels right. And the beauty of that choice is what comes next. Because when you finally let go, life has a way of opening up. You create room for peace, for people who uplift you, and for progress that once felt out of reach. When you stop settling, everything starts to shift. You'll look around and see that what you feared losing was never truly meant for you. So stop holding on out of habit or fear. Stop making excuses for things that are draining your spirit. Walk away from whatever no longer adds to your life. Let go of relationships, habits, and environments that keep you small. Trust that better things are coming, because they are. But first, you must make space for them.